name is Dagian. I am from Orange County, California. Wow, there's a lot of you here. Okay. So I became a consultant in June of 2016. I'm a fast track advanced director with that full $2,000 bonus. I do work a part-time job. I'm an administrative assistant at a local hospital with the surgical services department. I have two littles. One is 6 and the other is 19 months, both of which have some developmental delays and are in therapy multiple times a week, so I'm driving all over the place. So virtual parties have been really great for me in my business. So I'm going to turn it over to Noel.
Hi everyone, I'm Noel. I have been with Pampered Chef since February of last year. I was a kit nepper. I had no intentions of selling this. I had failed in 6 other direct sales companies and figured I could not sell a penny to somebody. I really just wanted that kit. I had no interest in doing anything with this. And when I figured out that virtual parties were a thing, then I was like, well, let's do this thing. And it really took off. I've been excited to be a part of a team with Laura's team that has grown and grown and grown. And I'm under Mindy Keys, and she's just been such an inspiration to me and Laura. But I've been able to get completely out of debt. I'm now able to work towards fertility treatments because of my Pampered Chef business. But my why is because I don't get challenged and recognized at my job that I work 60 hours a week as a project management officer for my company like I do with Pampered Chef.
I have 4 boys, count them, 4. And yes, I'm the queen of the castle. It's fabulous. I homeschool those 4 boys, so I have lots and lots and lots of time crunches in my life. I have another job. I run a giant program at my church for all of the families to learn more about the faith that we have. I've been with Pampered Chef for 6 years now. But the first 5 years of my business, it was just me rocking out selling food choppers. This last year has really been the time that we have just grown by leaps and bounds. So we definitely have seen a great change for me and my why. I started Pampered Chef to pay an insurance bill that came out of nowhere for my family. And I stay because of all of these lovely ladies over here. Raise your hands, girlfriends. Yes, yes. Most of the girls there are first time here at conference. So we are very excited to share with you some things that are very specific to the virtual world. So we're going to turn it back over so we can talk about selling. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about selling in the virtual atmosphere. One thing we forgot to mention is our party styles are very different across the board, 3 of us here. I run my parties as a group on Facebook. I do a 2-day pre-party, 7-day posting, 1-day cleanup, that type of thing, okay? I want to start with host coaching because it is a vital part of our business. I encourage my host to comment, tag, post and play on the games. If she wins the game, then everyone's a winner, type of thing, okay? I have them build a really large wish list and I try to focus on those products. And if I'm posting on a product, I can tag that host and say, so-and-so has this on their wish list, and then I have them comment about why it's on their wish list. So the more active the host is, the better the results of the party. If the host is nowhere to be found, you will have a hard time. You will struggle. Right? Yes. We have all done it. We have all had parties where they just tank. They tank hard. And yeah, I bet you if you went back and you looked at those parties, the host was nowhere to be found. Right? I see lots of nodding heads, so I'm glad I'm not the only one that has that problem. The other thing that I have seen on our team, and I'm sure other people have done it, is don't worry, I do everything for you. I set up the group, I post, blah, blah, blah. I do it all. Stop. Because if your host isn't there, what's going to happen? It's going to be the tank. So, host coach. I don't necessarily say, hey, post this on this day at this time, do this. I just encourage their involvement. Make sense? Nothing too crazy. The other way that I encourage party sales is I do an early book. I give 25 extra tickets if you place an order before the party officially starts on Monday. Tickets don't cost me a thing, but it encourages them, and I typically get anywhere from 3 to 5 orders before a party. So a party typically qualifies before it actually starts. So that's pretty awesome. We're also encouraging our team to go live or share their story in a recorded format. The more that they see of an actual person versus just posts, you'll get a better response. They'll get to know you as a person. And that's kind of hard to do in a virtual setting unless you're actually in front of them. So if you are like me and you don't have a ton of time, your house is chaos. I have 2 kids, 4 adults, 2 dogs, and a partridge in pear tree. In our house, so I can't go live because the baby will start crying, the dogs will start barking, the trash men will come down the street. But I know during nap time, the house is quiet. And yes, I can still get my 6-year-old to nap. So when they are napping, I can rule the world. So I will do a quick little video, save it to my phone, and I can post it when I need it to. The other idea someone shared, actually it was Kathy Cocazello when Amber and I were having lunch, to do a recording of a food demo. That way you can keep sharing that same demo over and over and over, and you're not having to figure out how to go live if you're too busy. Okay? Also in that live, you can explain, you can do this in the pre-party, is explain how the party's going to work, encourage their involvement, have them ask questions, just to get them excited about the party in general, okay? During the party, okay, sorry, so much, I'm not talking too much. During the party, we, Amber and I, my awesome director on my team, create our organizational outline that we share with everybody. But we started a couple months ago, including a game in the very beginning of the party, when typically the interest is really, really high. We included a game that they had to message us with the answers to the game. So it was like a Family Feud style thing where, what are the top 3 cheeses you put on a hamburger? They had to message us those top 3 answers. And and the reason why we said it was because then that way everyone can play. Okay, so everyone was allowed to be included in this game, but it also gave us an opportunity that if they weren't ordering or they weren't participating as much, we still had a way to contact them because they had already initiated that contact. And then we're not sending messages to other folders that are never seen. So if they initiate that contact, that is also a permission slip for me to send them a friend request. So I immediately send them a friend request the second I accept that other request message. So now, yes, I have a gazillion Facebook friends, and I'm okay with that because I'm a real person. I share my entire life with Facebook. But it's a great way for me to communicate with guests that have somehow fallen off the face of the earth. Because that does happen occasionally. What? It's crazy business. Okay. The last thing I wanted to share with you during the party. We're all familiar with Pampered Chef theme parties, yes? Yes. Okay. So why not turn those theme parties into theme days? Okay. So in our outline, we will share theme days. We have a baking day, a kids day. Oh my gosh, why can't I think about them right now? Back to school day, grilling day. Yes, we did the whole 2 days, going to the farmer's market. So we actually used all the party packs. We went into the party packs and we used what Pampered Chef gave us. What? Crazy business. So we used what we were given and we just tweaked it to make it work for us. So the really cool thing, if you pay attention to those party packs, there are wording that you can use that says link to your PWS blog or link to your PWS recipe. And the reason why that was awesome is because even if they accidentally just went to pamperedchef.com, if they were on my website and they placed an order, they were still shopping with me instead of random consultant in their area. Not that you're not all wonderful, but I want them to shop with me. So, theme days are a great way to get people excited. And then what we were doing at the beginning of the party, we would say, day 1 is this, day 2 is this, day 3 is this. Which one are you most excited about? And then you'd start tagging those people in those posts during that day. Hey, Kim, did you see this? Or hey, Judy, did you see this? And then that way, they're paying attention more. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think I got it all. If not, find me on Facebook.
All right, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about recruiting. So I want to see a show of hands on how many of you guys are primarily in-home consultants. In-home, not virtual. Yeah, we're changing that. Cambridge Tech is changing it. It's not live anymore because you can go Facebook Live. So if you are primarily a virtual consultant, raise your hand. All right, awesome. So I'm 99.9% virtual. I will have the occasional live show. Somebody says they really don't want to do virtual, and I really try to get them to go virtual, and they still say no. But I find that recruiting in the virtual world is very different, and it's something that I have been able to sort of put together for our team. I guess I would say it is calendars and recruiting, so I guess I figured this out. But I'm still learning because things are changing, and in the virtual world, things change much faster than you would ever imagine. So building those relationships is still number 1 key. Building relationships in your in-person shows are your key. That's how you reach people. So to do that virtually means you have to take it to the next level. Friend them, have chat messages, call them. If you dare call them on the phone. I don't call them on the phone, but if you're like that and you like to call people, call people. Get to know them and what might be their reason why or why not. We focus a lot on the reason why, but a lot of people have a why not. If it's a good fit, invite them to a meeting. Invite them to a look and learn. Just give them an opportunity to learn what it's all about and why this might be good for them. So for me on Facebook parties, I have a Q&A post in the middle of my party. I do 10-day groups, a couple of pre-posts before that. I try to wrap it up within 24 hours. So on day 4, I'm doing Q&A. They get tickets for every question they ask me. I pull every single person on my parties out into Messenger, thank them for being a part of the party, compliment them on something that they've done, and then I tag them in a comment that says, hey, I sent you a message, it's in your other folder, you might miss it. If they still don't see it, then I'm like, hey, did you get my message? I kind of get stalkerish. If they're like, no, I didn't, then I'm like, send me a message, it will pop up. If they still don't get it, then I just start commenting into the post. I thank everybody for being there, because without them, I wouldn't be here. I make sure that if they are curious about what Pampered Chef is all about, that they tell me what type of apron they would wear. So a lot of you have seen the apron posts and all the different types of aprons. But I tell them that I've changed aprons 4 times. There's a kit out there. We want everybody to know what the kit's all about, but we don't want to just focus on the kit. We don't want to just sell the kit. I know I was a kidnapper. But we want to make sure that they understand the value that they're getting, that they are getting this whole kitchen full of products, that they are able to change their lives. You don't know if you're able to change their life if you never get to know them. For me, I also do a survey. I do a survey on day 5. It helps me get to know how they like to be contacted, if they're interested in a business and extra income, if they're interested in any type of party. They also get put into a drawing for that, so there's incentives. Since I'm a virtual consultant, I hate paper, which this is a miracle. Everything's on my phone. I run my entire business from my phone. I log into a computer maybe once a month to pull a report. I keep notes on my phone of all my prospects. I'm not telling you if you're scared of this to go do everything on your phone. Find out what works for you. So if you are a paper person, keep track of what's going on, who you talk to, what's going on in their life. If Susie is moving next month, then you want to follow up with her 2 weeks later and say, how did your move go? Are you needing a little extra income to cover all those moving expenses? Then you know she knows that you're engaged, and she knows that you kept up and you cared enough to ask. Offer it to everybody. Don't prejudge and track what they're saying. Follow up like you've never followed up before, because I will tell you, you will hear more no's in a virtual world because it's a lot easier to tell you no when you're not face to face. Use those digital interview cards under the selling and recruiting tab, recruiting page, digital interview cards. Okay. Those pictures are worth 1,000 words because pictures make it real. A lot of people that like virtual experiences don't like to read a lot, so don't send them to a page that has a whole bunch of information. Give them a picture that relates to exactly what their conversation is with you. So if they're saying, I don't have time, then you send that picture that shows just how much time it really takes to make a lot of money, and you ask them which one of those categories they fit into. How I answer them is how I have been successful, and it's one of those things that I had a really hard time. Laura and I were sitting down talking about, what do I do different? I had a really hard time knowing what I do different because I've only been in this a year and a half. I became virtual and virtual wasn't a thing really, and so I had to figure that out. But I turn negatives into positives. Every single negative I get, I turn it into a positive, but I keep it short and sweet. You've heard a lot, don't word vomit. I really keep it short and sweet. When I answer them, it is probably in 5 words or less, and it is a trigger to get them to answer me back. No rarely means no forever, so ask them if 6 months down the line if they mind you contacting them again, or maybe next year will be better. Keep them on your follow-up list until they're annoyed, you know. Ask if they want a kit credit. Ask if they had $50 off that kit, if they could spend $59. Then you know if it's really about the money or if it's about the work. Full service checkouts are probably the #1 way that I get my hosts and guests to sign up. I do a personal shopper post at my virtual parties at the beginning on day 2, where I say, hey, just comment want and send me your email if you want that product, and I'll build your cart for you, and I'll contact you at the end to get payment. This is probably the #1 way that I'm able to reach out to people. I have their emails, they've messaged me, I can now have that conversation. Do you want anything else that you didn't put in your cart? Or do you want to have a party? Or do you want to join my team because we're growing like fire? Make it look fun. It doesn't have to be easy, but it has to be worth it. I answer questions with questions. This is one of the #1 things I tell my team. Answer questions with questions. That brings it back to the relationship. It helps you get to know them. So when somebody says, how much does it cost to sign up? I send them the picture of the 3 ones and I say, which one do you like? They say, I like this one. What about that one do you like? You keep asking questions. It keeps that conversation engaged. The feedback that I get, so in the bottom of my surveys I have any comments. The #1 comment I get is that we know you're real and honest. How do you know that? You don't know me. I'm just on Facebook. But my answers to them are real and honest, and I think it really comes across. Whenever you're telling somebody, you know what, that might not be the right fit for you, or that might not be the right product for you, even though it's more expensive than the one that is the right product for you. I think they get to understand and know you whenever you're real and honest. So my outlines, I have an opening tagline, and I would challenge all of you to come up with what your tagline is. It makes it a little less scary to start recruiting. For me, I say, thank you for joining the party. You have been so great because, fill in the blank. Would you like to learn more about how Pampered Chef can bring more financial freedom and fun to your life? If they say no, I ask them about hosting. If they say no to that, I ask if there's a better time. Do you see the theme? I don't accept no. There's got to be a yes in there somewhere about something. If they say yes, I ask them about themselves, if they have ever thought about having their own business. But I hear the same top 4 reasons for no. And I'm going to go over those. The first one is, I don't have any money. That's exactly why you need this. How much would you like to make per month? The second one I hear is, I'm not a salesperson. Great, me either. I just share what we have and why it's awesome. Did you feel like I was pushing it on you? They've never said yes. I don't have any time. Do you think you have an hour a week that you can devote towards starting a business? I have a system that works great because I work 60 hours a week plus 30 hours a week on my business because I have a team that's doing amazing things. I promise you I have a system that can work and I can help you. Does that sound interesting to you? And number 4, and I'm going to offend a lot of people in this room by this one, I said I'm real and honest. My husband won't let me. Anyone heard that one? My blood boils. If you don't have someone at home that respects you and builds you up and takes you on that journey with your dreams, then that's exactly why you need my team, because that's what we will do for you.
I love it. That's my favorite. I hope y'all didn't get too mad because I was like, you gotta say that one. All right. So we're going to talk about culture a little bit, and Crystal has already mentioned a little bit about it, and so I'm kind of going to repeat some of the things that she said, but in a more practical way. So these ladies have given you some fabulous practical tips on selling and recruiting, and I just want to reinforce that we're having success with the ways we're sharing, but obviously lots of other people in this room are having success with different things, right? So the way that I do my virtual parties, and I do about 50-50 right now. I do lots and lots of cooking shows as well, but I'm really starting to embrace virtual parties too. And I do a 7-day party. So I start on Monday and I end on Monday, and that works really well for me. So whatever works for you. If you're totally ADD and you're like, 10 days is way too long, try a 5, try a 1 hour, try something a little bit different. But for me, the 7-day works the best because I'm a schedule Nazi. Okay, so we just want to encourage you to do what is best for you. Take our little tips and try something that maybe is working for you. So for team culture, what I feel that is essential for culture and team building, they're like peanut butter and jelly. You can't take them apart. If you want your team to grow, or if you're a brand new consultant and this is your very first time and you're like, I'm totally overwhelmed, I don't even know where to start, we want you to focus on growing, but in order to do that, culture and growth are together, right? You can't pull them apart. So if you're the leader of your team, and your team is only growing because you're recruiting, then your culture needs to change, right? If you're a consultant and you haven't recruited anybody yet, get ready. It's coming. Because the very first thing that you need to do, anybody have an idea? Believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in what this business offers and this opportunity, how are you going to help somebody else believe that they can maybe defy their husband and do this with us, right? This is all about belief. We have something incredible with this business, an opportunity to change people's lives. And the culture that we start with starts right here, right? So one of the things that I want to really encourage you, a year ago at this conference for me, I had my sweet Mindy Keys, and I had Kim, who's here with me, and that was it. My team was teeny. And we were getting started, and we made this gigantic goal of we're going to grow by 200. October the 1st, I'm like, y'all, we're growing by 200. And Mindy's like, all right, we're going to, whatever you say, Laura, that's what we're going to do. And y'all, we met it this month. So, we met it. But we didn't just start with, let's just get together and we're going to start talking to people about Pampered Chef. No, starting with me. I believe that this is so important that it is worth all of us sharing. And if you're not there yet, get there, right? Find a person, like Michael Reeves said, find a person that inspires you, that you look at and you think, I want to be where they are in their business in a year. And then you do what I do, you stalk people, like Tennille. I would stalk Tennille on Facebook for like 2 years. I want to be like these other people that are sharing and passionate and glowing when they talk about our business. That's where you need to be. Get your belief first. And then you're going to be able to have those actions, right? If you believe that this is worth it, are you going to ask every person? Heck yeah, right? You're going to ask every single person and be so excited you can't contain it. You are going to be a hurricane, right? And that's what we want you to be. I'm from Louisiana. Anybody else from Louisiana out there? Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, you're going to be a hurricane. You are unstoppable because you say that you are, right? Okay. So I want to talk about culture in a more practical way. Number one, how do you use social media? Because what you are posting as a person is building a culture that people see. And is that culture that you're building, is it something someone wants to join or not? And I feel like very often we just put ourselves on Facebook, but are we putting the things that are the positive and the good and the light and the darkness? And if we're not, maybe we should change that. We are a solution-minded company. That is what we sell. We sell solutions. We're helping people. We're sharing amazing recipes to get families back to the dinner table. How are you showing a solution on social media? It's important. So, talking about your group page. If you're just a consultant here, we are so thankful you're here. Are you posting on your uplines page what you're doing that's working? Are you sharing your struggles in a positive, solution-minded way? If you're a leader, what are you putting on your page that's inspirational, or are you complaining? You set the tone. And to go right along with that, if someone posts something that's negative, do you take it off? You control what is on that page and what's allowed to fester. Does that make sense? We do not want to have negative Nellies on our page. We want to take that post off and talk to that person in a personal message and say, sweetie, I love you, but you cannot post that on my page. Let's talk about how to do this in a better way. I can still help them be solution-minded, but in order for me to do that, that can't be, I don't want that on our culture. Our culture is positive and solution-minded. And so that is something that we all need to think about before we post, oh my gosh, this post last night. No, we want it to be positive and solution-minded. Okay, next thing. I'd like you to raise your hand if you get to see your Pampered Chef team every day. Yeah, nobody. Okay. What about if you get a chance to see your Pampered Chef team every week? Anybody here get to see them every week? We got 2 lucky people. Okay. The rest of us, we don't get to see each other ever sometimes. I just met half my team first time ever at conference. Right? Okay. So your culture starts in your Facebook group with your team. And if you're a consultant, you're in that culture. You're helping to build it. If you're a leader, that is key. What the heck are you posting in there? It makes a difference. Making sure that you are consistent, that you're putting things that are about a solution, giving them training opportunities. That Facebook group is definitely a key. It's where you form your relationships. Now, some of our directors have a group chat that they have all their people in. Noel does that with her team. There's over 100 people in there. Can you imagine? It goes off all day and all night. I got to silence that sucker for sure. On some of our other teams, they just have their own personal groups where they encourage one another, celebrate birthdays, celebrate, all the new things and fabulous things we have going on. It's a place of connection. So, years ago, for me, I guess, I could call up someone and say, hey, do you want to go have a cup of coffee with me? And we're going to talk about the business. Do you know if I call someone right now, they're going to be like, I'm not picking up the phone. I have a screaming baby. I have the dog in the background. Are you kidding me? The phone is sometimes helpful, but for me, impossible. So 80% of all of my personal recruiting happens on a Facebook message, and 100% of my team culture happens on some kind of Facebook group. Posting and telling one another what we're doing. One thing that I want to share that we started doing that has been huge is do and tell. A lot of you guys may have heard of this before, but if you haven't, we have something on our team page called, it's #DoAndTell. Some people have Rockstar Do and Tell. And the idea behind it is, every week, I pull a drawing for a $5 Amazon gift card for every time someone posts an income-producing activity. I sat down and called 10 people. I had a $1,000 party. I got 6 bookings. I've done. You guys raise your hand. You did some do and tells? Yes, ma'am, you did. Do and tell is something that started little. Like I took a picture of myself writing thank you notes at the park with my kids. And I posted and I said, do and tell, I'm thanking all my hosts. And then I started having people go, okay, well, I'm gonna post something I'm doing. Now we have over 20 posts a week, sometimes more, where people are bragging about what they're doing, and they're all great ideas. so that our team can go to that post and go, oh, I'm struggling, let me look through the do and tells. There's lots of great information in there. So I encourage you to start that, and it may only have 2 posts on it for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but consistency, people. It works. Okay. Next thing that we're going to talk about is when a brand new person joins our team, we have them welcomed on our team Facebook page, and that recruiter tags them in a special pinned post that we have for our Facebook group. And when they tag them, all of our outlines that Noel and her amazing team have made, all of the videos for new consultant training, everything is in that pinned post for them. So they can look at it and start going through it and getting all the tools they need to be very successful. So that started out again with just a few. Now we have 20 a month at least. It's crazy. The excitement is contagious. And the biggest part for culture, it makes recruiting look pretty easy. Because if I'm not the one doing all the recruiting, and we're all doing the recruiting, then that's what we do. We recruit, right? That's what we do. Say that with me, please. That's what we do. We recruit, we share, we're helping each other, we're business builders. That's what we're doing. The second thing that we do that I think is a really practical piece, and Noel mentioned it, is something called a look and learn. Some of you, again, may have heard about this. It is a virtual opportunity event, an event on Facebook that we funnel our potential new consultants to, and one of our leaders will get on there and post things and answer questions, and it's so easy. Way easier than finding time for a cup of coffee, let me tell you. They can get on their phone at 9:30 when they're already scrolling through everything anyway. Anybody do that? And you're on our event learning about how you could do Pampered Chef. We do it every other Monday. It's fabulous. It's led to tons of growth on our team. And even better, a way for us to follow up with the people that were there. Again, so much excitement. We have local meetings, but for those of us that are far away, we want our people who can't be there physically and the people that live far away to feel connected. So we have a Facebook online event that is a meeting just for them. And so we have a live one for our locals, and we have the Facebook one happening at the same time. It's a great way for us to recognize people and help them feel vested, and honestly, we just play a lot of games. You guys know that funny game like, what's your leprechaun name? What's your Valentine's Day name? We play all these games on the events, and they love it. Like, we almost pretend like we're in our own virtual parties. It's so fun, and it gives us a chance to connect. And one other thing that we do on Facebook as well is every Tuesday night, one of our fabulous leaders gets on and does Facebook Live, and they just hang out with whoever's there. So maybe try that. Get on and just see who's there and talk to them. Ask, answer their questions. We've had great questions from those Tuesday nights. And last but not least, we have a separate group for our business builders called the Grow Group. And every day I post something about changing your mindset. Right? I don't want you to say I can't. I want you to say, how am I going to? Right? So we have this grow group, and it's really been a way for us to pour into those people who want to build their business. So if you're sitting here thinking, Laura, I can't do any of that. Yes, you can. And the best way to do it is to partner with somebody else. So if you don't have a director on your team, or you're a smaller team, partner with somebody else who's, another director, and do these events together. Make this culture as you're working through it, because it is all about that connection. It's about painting that vision that we are doing this. There's strength in numbers. The more that you have, the more excitement you see, and it really makes such a difference. Okay? That's what I wanted to finish. Oh, last but not least, Noel reminded me, I'm sorry. Positive affirmations, they're important. So if you don't know what that is, it means an active statement that you repeat to yourself every day of your life. Okay? So what I do every morning, I get up, I have a